I'm Nicole Nark, Arkansas real estate broker, and today we are going through what you guys need to know as first-time home buyers when it comes to understanding the real estate market today and understanding what it will do over the next few months so that you guys can make the most educated decision when deciding whether now would be the most affordable time for you to be buying a home or whether that might be in the future. So let's jump right into it. Housing affordability has improved for the second month in a row. Now, this came out according to the National Association of Realtors Housing Affordability Index report, which they put out every single month after analyzing tons and tons of data. Now, how they came to this conclusion is that they realized that mortgage payments fell by 1.1%, which means that they take up 1.1% less of the typical family income coming in each month, while median family income only fell by 0.7%. So this means that homes are slowly getting more affordable. Payments are now taking up less of a percentage of household income than they had before these 2 months. Of course, does this mean dramatically tons and tons of inventory is now available and affordable? Unfortunately, no, but it does mean that we are headed in the right direction. No one wants us to continue rising on this unsustainable affordability crisis where mortgage payments are just taking up more and more and more of family take-home income. Even though housing affordability is improving, this does not necessarily mean that buying a house right now is getting any easier. And I can testify to this because you guys know I work every single month with home buyers just like yourself. So I am helping my clients write offers in this market, and it is still crazy. In fact, I found this great report from Zillow, which said nearly 1/4 of U.S. home sellers received 4 or more offers on their home in 2021, according to their Consumer Housing Trends report. So I'm sure if you guys have already jumped into the market, you got your pre-approval done, and you are starting to make offers on homes at least through 2021, you have experienced these awful bidding wars. And you are not alone. Literally near 1/4 of home sellers experienced multiple offer situations on their homes. I do not believe that it is impossible to get a contract and offer accepted if you have to use financing. You really just have to understand, like I have talked about in previous videos, what is the seller's situation, what might be their motivation, and how can you shape your personal situation and what you have to offer to basically present the best offer forward for the sellers. And sometimes that means, moving a couple of things around. As long as you consult with your agent and you're putting in strong offers, soon enough, you will get the house. So if you're following me and you know that affordability of a home is improving, which is a good thing, but we still have many multiple offer situations, what is causing the competition? I hope all of your brains are going supply and demand because we have talked about this before. It is 100% supply and demand. And I have this really great chart that I want to share with you guys. Take a look at this graph from Keeping Current Matters. You can see here on the first half of the buyer traffic in each state. So why is this demand high? There are historically low, very, very low mortgage rates right now. The pandemic has many, many people working from home, either for a time being or potentially working from home with that option moving forward for an indefinite amount of time. Additionally, the largest generation, millennials, which I fall into, are now at prime home buying age. So you have essentially a whole nother generation of individuals who are now college graduates or have had several years in the workforce, maybe are starting a family, who are now like, I am at a stage where I can financially purchase a home and that would be a smart move for me. So all three of these have come together at the same time while we have been in a pandemic. So this is why supply is low. We have had insufficient new construction being built, which has been really spanning over the past decade. And in addition to this, because of the pandemic and just kind of this change in mindset, many Americans are choosing to stay in their home longer and choose to build up more equity rather than like moving houses every few years. When you have this mega demand, but this lack of supply, this is exactly where the competition has come from and why we still are seeing multiple offers on properties. With all of this said, I feel like the next thing we need to talk about is if we have low inventory still and there's tons of competition for buying, should I jump into buying right now and competing, or should I wait? And there's one thing that I want us to look at that might help you make that decision. Keeping Current Matters published an article where they spoke with several experts throughout the mortgage industry, and they had them kind of project what they think interest rates are going to do moving forward throughout the rest of this year and into next year. Now, why this is important is because interest rates have a direct impact on what your mortgage payment is going to be every single month, which influences to a great degree how affordable your home is and how much home you can afford, period. As you can see in this first graph, when we're looking at mortgage rate projections across the board, we're looking at 3.17% all the way up to third quarter of next year, where we're looking at over 3.5% on our interest rates. That may not seem substantial, but like I said, it has a huge impact when you are buying a home. When rates rise even slightly, it affects how much you pay month to month. So if you wait until this time next year to buy a house, if we look at a $350,000 loan, at today's rate, which is 2.99%, that monthly payment would be just over $1,400, $1,474. But next year, if we hit 3.55%, that payment for the same purchase price would be $1,581 just because of that interest rate. So in my opinion, if you are sitting there watching this video contemplating, do I jump into this market now? Do I try to take advantage of these good interest rates? Do I wait until it's a little bit less competitive? Here is my advice to you. If you have the means to compete in this market and write competitive offers, jump in. I've had success definitely having upfront conversations with my clients about, here is what I am seeing in the market. Here is what you would need to compete in this price point. And when we set that expectation up front and how we're going to need to craft their financials to make great offers, we have success. But if you know that maybe you don't have the money to cover your closing costs, or you don't have the money to guarantee that if the house doesn't appraise, you will cover that gap between the appraisal price and the contract price, it might be in your advantage to wait for a less competitive time, even if that means you have to buy when interest rates are a little bit higher. I know that that's not ideal, but really ultimately, I cannot tell you now is a great time to buy, now is the worst time to buy next year, buy in 2023. No one can make that decision because I don't know your personal finances, you don't know mine. So taking that into consideration, you kind of have to reflect, think about what might be best for you. I would say right now, even if you are using a loan, having any excess money that you can saved up is only going to help you when it comes to negotiating great deals and making awesome offers. Now that we got all of that out of the way, and I really, really hope I didn't scare you too much, but I really believe that knowledge is power, and you have to understand what the market is doing so that you can make the best decision for when to buy for you. There's one last thing I want to talk about. And honestly, guys, I don't know how I feel about it. So I really need you to let me know what you think in the comments. Help me figure out if this is going to be good or bad. Redfin has announced that they will be allowing buyers to tour homes without an agent. Okay, so I've been trying to like rack all of the pros and cons of this in my head, and I still don't know how I feel about it. So basically, apparently Redfin has partnered up with ADT, the security company, to expand its like direct access home tour feature. And what will happen is like buyers will be able to request direct access into homes through these like lock boxes, and they will not need an agent to show them the property. So it's saying that this was implemented in April of 2020. If you have this in your market, let me know. I've never heard of it. And over the past 18 months, they've expanded the service to 10 additional areas, including Austin, Orange County, Seattle, San Francisco, Las Vegas, Denver, Dallas, Boston, and Phoenix. This direct access by Redfin is supposedly going to help homebuyers self-tour vacant properties without using an agent, using only the Redfin app to unlock lock boxes. The partnership Redfin has with ADT obviously comes into play because ADT will be providing like smart locks and certain security measures so that hopefully, I guess, these vacant homes will be a little bit more protected. Let me know what you think about this. I understand how this could be very beneficial as a buyer. Like, let's say you want to go look at a house and your agent is unavailable, so like you could just take yourself. At the same time, though, it seems like a legal nightmare. And I can't envision that it's going to work well. But let me know. Like, I'm really curious to understand what you think. If you already own a home, also let me know, like, would you be okay with buyers just like, you know, being able to request access to your property on their own time? Or do you currently get comfort in the fact that an agent is required to accompany them and they are the only ones who can unlock a lockbox? Let me know in the comments below. Once again, I'm Nicole Nark, Arkansas real estate broker. I put out content on this channel every single week about the market, as well as great new programs for home buyers and just home buying tips in general. So if you have not already, make sure to subscribe. I will link a great other video that you should watch right over here, and I will see you in the next one.